Good morning, everybody. We'll get to the markets in a second, but I thought this was something to take a look at. Maybe it starts a bottoming process. Maybe it relates to the market, at least to the sector that it's in. Certainly, consumer discretionary, but uh, got a wide range bar yesterday, and there's other wide range bars that occurred yesterday. But what is more important about this one is that it's nearing this significant support area, and it's down. Well, we can see how much it's down from this high. Got to fix that so that it stays something that's more visible. All right. 50%? That's huge. And down here. So I'm looking for this to start stabilizing. Uh, if there's premium there, maybe it makes sense if you go far enough out for a put spread, probably within, I don't know about today, within the next days to see what's available there. But this, I think, should start bottoming out down here, and that could help in consumer discretionary and maybe other markets. This ETF is down on the 200 internet, so this is on some support. That's so maybe we get some stabilization there. See, this one was a wide range bar igniting, but well, the thing that made it difficult for me anyway in this market. I mean, it just slammed through some of this resistance eventually. I mean, it chopped there. Look at the chop that occurred um, um, at the support point. So buyers tried to hold it there for a while, and we had these up and down mess that was going on. And so this little acceleration. So in the opening slide there, or whatever it is, that shows thoughts oversold bouncer and mini crash. I mean, oversold is not something that makes any difference to me anyway. It's usually a measure of um, through oscillators. But at different points, someone could have said this was oversold and it was oversold and oversold and whatever. Right? Prices get extended from any resistance areas, which often results in a short-term bottom, maybe a bottoming process, or a counter trend retracement. And clearly the trend is down. How far it retraces from here, we'll have to see as far as some type of a meaningful low. Right now, we're just talking about possibly a short-term low. We'll see how today progresses. One thing that has been persistent here, and this finally turned a little bit lower yesterday with the drop that occurred. Breath is getting closer to this minus 200 area. And it's interesting that historically a drop like this would have resulted in it's down here already. So there's underlying strength still out there, because what this tells us, it tells us a couple of things, that there are stocks out there that are not collapsing like the market is in the short term, because a move like this often would result in this being down here at minus 250, possibly 300, and it's not there yet. Maybe it'll eventually get there. Um, this sentiment internal, it got down to an extreme and it flipped up a little bit. And this is a little concerning as far as some kind of a meaningful low. And we can't say that this is a meaningful low by any chance yet, but this put call ratio not coming down here suggests that there's a significant amount of underlying hope, and near market, meaningful market lows, there's little hope out there. So, when you look at these internal gauges and prices, support, resistance, and trends, and so on, in multiple time frames, and make sense out of it. Right? The government shutdown, Dan is mentioning in the room there. We've heard this so many times over the years about government shutdowns, and it creates volatility and whatever. Eventually, they all blink. The politicians, they all blink and they work it out, but they got to go through their, show for everybody. And this Democrats and Republicans are really beyond ridiculous with what's going on. Continues to go on, let's just say. All right, where are the broader markets? So clearly a wide range bar. Wide range bars, after a move like this, we look at them as wide range bars ending. That doesn't mean that it's the low. It means that momentum should slow. And we can see for the moment, it's still very early. Momentum is slowing. Um, as far as the futures go, this is not at support. It's certainly darn close. It doesn't have to get down there. There's always anticipation of a low being created near what's to the left. So buyers do anticipate and start to come in. That's also part of a bottoming process where things continue lower, but they don't continue lower with the momentum that this came down at. So then things begin to get choppy. And so that's what I would expect, some choppiness in the coming days. And of course, ahead of the economic report and with who's going to blink is the Dems and Republicans and all that drama that goes on there. All right. All right. So wide range bar. It's not down here yet. And I said it doesn't have to. These are futures. What really matters is looking at the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500 to see where they are in relation and what they eventually do. But momentum is slowing down below the 200, the 50, the 20 is pointing down. Everything is bearish. Another wide range bar. And here we have the concept of a greater than 100% retracement, which we've covered in the past. And that often results in a slowing in momentum. Also, this is on support. It broke it a little bit, but it's on some support there. Again, futures contract, but a lot of things suggesting at least stabilization for now. Russell futures collapsing, relatively wider than the last few days, but closing down there. Stabilization, the same story, extended, little bounce going on here. And I was coming back in here as we speak. All right. Take a look at interest rates. They're up here a little bit. And we had this measured move that reached its destination, the prior low. We had this rejection up there. That's when we started talking about this, where I drew these little measured move lines there. And they typically line up near an area of major support, which is marked here. Here it's stabilized, continued down, and down a little bit. This kind of a pattern, especially being near some support, could result in a W bottom, which could coincide with a low point, because while interest rates going down as they have is a plus, there's also minuses to it. And this is related to the tariffs and the potential recession and the slowing economy and so on and so forth. But some stabilization here and maybe a little move up that would, I think, be helpful to the broader markets. Right. So where are we at here? Little gap up, violated this major support. Spiders here. And so that opens up the thought or speculation that possibly could come down here. Maybe it does. Maybe it does. So just turn that red. No longer support. That will become minor resistance. So I think, based on that, unless some news of significance was to happen, which is unlikely, you know, today's movement should be contained within yesterday's range. It possibly could get up there. Who knows? In any event, you've got the 200 up above now. You've got this minor resistance area. It's not on any support. Um, and so this has been marked off from a long time ago, this void on the chart. Um, I don't know. Nobody knows whether it'll eventually get down there, but maybe there's a little tiny unfilled gap down here. I marked these off as they occur. And so that occurred last year, it was a long time ago, but it exists. Maybe it'll never get filled, but there's no support of any significance here. So, maybe 550, we look at whole numbers, 500, 600, where it was chopping back and forth for a long time. So maybe 550, give or take, holds in that area. It's a place to mark, put an alert, be aware of if it's there. Um, Volatility index, talked about this yesterday. And here in the past, marking off this and setting in alerts, it finally got up there. Um, and things have stabilized. So this is, while not all internals line up as we would like, or support and resistance, this is another gauge that works well over the years. Prior highs as reference points. Whether it gets up there at some point, I mean, yet to see. That's where the close is up there at 40, but um, we'll see what happens in the coming days and into the news at the end of the week. All right, I'm going to get to SPX here. So the transports are broken down. They're not at support. Um, you know, you don't have to be an economist to know what's going on in what's the anticipation of what's going to happen in the economy. Looking at things like interest rates and oil and the transports and just a few other things will tell you that when the things are getting choppy or just bad as far as the economy and things weakening. So all the signs are out there of a slowing economy. SPX, it's this away, big mess. Yesterday's numbers are still on there. Got a little close yesterday as things came down into the void here. Still, way down here. As I said, we'll see if it gets there and get to this 54. Wow. Yeah. After yesterday, it makes sense. It always goes to some crazy extreme. And when it does that, it's rare that'll ever get down there. And I didn't want to do that. Look at how it's so close to the whole number. It'll never go down there today. Right? Something disastrous would have to happen. So that doesn't mean you have to do that strike, but it's enough to do if you go wide enough with the spreads. So if we went up and looked at 5,500 and went a little bit below it, which would make sense. Look, $4. That's juicy. And you could go a little lower and do something, whatever, 10 and wide, whatever you choose, but you've got a significant level there of a whole number. Things are just chopping around here a little bit. So that's a huge distance way down there, into a whole number. So it's reasonable to think that it cannot get down there today. And if it does, that's your line of defense. So you could pick anything between here and under 5,500 would make sense. And maybe SPY even has enough premium. I rarely look at that. I mean, sometimes we do. 57, 55. And even if you look at things like average true range over the last week or so, you know, again, comes into alignment with range expansion bars. Now, I will point out as I'm looking at this, this is rid of that. This is far away, far enough away to think it won't get up there. But look at this. Hold on a second. See, this is what make this move, for me anyway, very difficult to participate. Not that I want to participate on, this. You can't trade this. But look at the congestion, the whip back and forth. And this one here was really crazy. Down bar, big up bar, big down bar. Dan coined the term bull sandwich years ago. But this kind of chop, in support areas, and then it fails. It doesn't go very far and chop. And now this kind of consolidation, use the analogy, it refills the tank. So could eventually this get down here with this kind of price action? Absolutely. But for now, we'll see if it stabilizes and whether it eventually gets down here or not. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm sure wanting lower prices too, as everybody else does. You know, you can ask yourself during every sell-off when you're in the middle of it, like right now, just ask yourself, why are you not buying now? And the logical answer to us is, well, because it looks lower and I don't have a bullish pattern. So that's my answer. But in the middle of every sell-off, by definition, there's bad news because that's what created 10-20% sell-off. So, I remember telling the story in when COVID hit, and Greg just showed you the VIX went up to, I remember it going above 90. That you just gotta pretend you're on an island and not watching the news where you have no idea what COVID is. You don't know what's going on, but you just look at the charts and you're like, man, oh man, oh man, this is a freaking shock buying opportunity of the lifetime. That COVID sell off. All right. Anyway, yeah, I don't like shorting, from the top to the bottom. I obviously, me, I'd prefer a 1, 2, 3 continuation. AES, yeah, Alex has been in that since Friday. We mentioned it yesterday. Yeah, looks good. Utilities had a nice run yesterday. Look at NE and EE. We mentioned in the morning. That had a beautiful day. So a lot of these phone companies are getting sold here today for some reason. Look at Verizon. That was incredible little bull rectangle breakout. Now it's, man, that's an ugly, ugly retracement right there. But I don't see anything to do with it. AT&T's been strong. We did a recent MT live on bar by bar on using this chart. I mean, that's a nasty sell-off. TMOS I saw. So this one looks like a great call spread candidate. It's strong, but it's a topping pattern. It's a topping pattern. You had a topping tail yesterday, even though relative strength to the market. So 30-minute low. It's typically spreading, so we'll have to check that out. I've been posting in Telegram pre-market. There's a ton of Climos everywhere. Let me go through earnings and then I'll take a look at my list. Have a look at IoT on my list. Climo. Delta and Love came out with some guidance. So Delta's recovering a bit, but Climo, Love actually was down. Now it's up a lot. That's an incredible reversal, but no pattern. So I looked at some of these other, look, they all recovered nicely. Look at that. Gap down negated it. But this is not on Climos, you want as many fluid bars down, not overlapping bars like this. So I don't like that one. AAL. The fact that they recovered was impressive. French, let me get to, and then yeah, look at the cruise ships here too. RCL, CCL, Norwegian. The RCL has been the strongest for over a year. And that's the only one above the 200. Still in a downturn. All right, let's see. Roll CBI. Short below yesterday's low. You know, Greg talked about slowing momentum, right? So this was a momentum move lower and momentum slowed. So I don't, there's not a big enough void for me, Raul, on that one. WMS short. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But it had a deeper tracement, so I do not expect a new low myself. Frenchie, when there's blood in the street, the question is when. Well, Frenchie, that's easy. That's well, let me rephrase. That's not easy, but our indicators tell us that it's imminent. Like at that COVID low I was telling you about, and our internals were off the charts cooked. So when they get cooked like that, they've done their job. You don't need to look at them anymore. And so all we were doing, Frenchie, is waiting for the SPY to trade over prior day's high. End of story. It didn't even go down to a smaller time frame as we do in the green room. But that's the answer. Techno fundamental analysis, market internals, and technical the bias on the horseman. And then you just gotta turn off the TV, turn it off, because they're gonna say the world's coming to an end, and you just trade objectively using the data. All right, these are earnings, Oracle. It's just going to keep going down until buyers step in. Asian here, a big old gap down, possible gap and snap. I have no idea, but I just throw it into the excessive gap category. I mean, look what I don't have. I don't use percents in here because I don't care, but just do the math in your head. Down $5 and it closed at 17. That's nasty percent. A sign 1840 bullish gap at see so I think it's next week. Yeah, next week MT Live we're going to be talking about voids and objective in determining targets and trade management. So look, this does not have a void. And I'm always bad, not bad, but I omit bad examples. I need to do that more often in MT Live. So this is a horrible, horrible example of a gap breakout. Is it a bullish gap? Yes. Yes. But it's gapping to a friggin' wall. I mean, wall of resistance here. So, Alex, who won the Super Bowl this year? I think the Cowboys, right? So it's like it's gapping into the defensive line of the Cowboys here. So not good. Eagles. All right, cool. 5:30. Okay, now so this is a great continued discussion here. So this is a bullish cap. There's no void yet, yet. But look at the void above here. So this one, I'm very curious to see. Ideally, it will give me 3 more daily bars that just hang up here. And then on Friday, we'd buy over the highs of those 3 bars. Maybe it just gaps and goes right now. But you see the huge difference in those two void patterns right there. All right, this one, no void. And it gave up the gains. So the 12 to, okay, this looks fantastic. If it opens flat to short yesterday's low after 5 minutes, let me just set, an alarm here about 12:48. Because I can't watch everything at the open. But this would just be a breakdown with a void. Look over here. There's a void to the left, and it's tight to resistance in the 20 MA. So that is a fantastic new short setup. Whereas the broader markets for swing are climbos. You can't, they're totally different patterns. Mountain 161. So there's a bullish gap. I will put that in a window. MTN. Oh, I had an alarm on reaching go off. This was on my long lists from yesterday. Daily, weekly, monthly are all in beautiful alignment. Ideally, we get a 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, paying 26.40. So that's a bullish gap, but again, not a good price for it because of all that resistance over there. WSC was a climb out. Look, this did exactly what I said to keep an eye on yesterday. This was earnings yesterday, and it gapped up. And I said right here in this room with everyone listening, I hope it closes like this, and then we can buy over the highs. Today is a climb-o. So that, all right, TMOS here continues to fall. That looks great. I'm going to put that in a window. Maybe I'll tell you when I see it. 5, 10, 15, 30-minute high. I don't know. But that's a candidate now. That's a Climo candidate that has made the turn. AD line gapping up to 500. Tick positive. So this, because of this prior low, ideally 30-minute low would be the best. Let it just prove that it cannot go up much. But that's a nice one to watch. So the mountain EDRX. Yeah, that looks fine. Day trade, me, I don't like swinging under $7, but sure. Day trade short 5-minute low, sure. All right, RH I had as a Climo. watch, put spread, fast. We're stopping out at a profit. We had long calls, mountain. Well, terminology done. That is not a gap and crap pattern. Gap and crap is an exhaustion gap following a climb out. That's still a bullish gap. Now, if it negates it, then the name I have for it is bullish gap that bears. All right, so fast, we're out. I'll post it in a minute. XLV. This was a big mess. Let's see where our stop is. No, our stop is under that bottoming tail bar, so it was an early alarm. But yeah, we'll get more selling here today. So, at the open. KKR, I know that was a Climo. Let me look at it. I got a lot of Climos. KKR. Nah, I got no interest. That's a sloppy Climo. Bib is trail stopping out. Go ahead and take the money. We were long from Thursday. We got a nice profit. Yeah, 151. Diamonds. Yeah, no, that's do you remember said the same thing yesterday when yesterday was an inside bar? I said if it closed like that, short, same story. If it closes like this, because now it's on 15-minute support, testing yesterday's low, and the Qs are finally rallying. So if the Qs rally, I think it might hold the other three horses. I see Amazon. Yeah, the Fangs are getting the Fang 15-minute charts. All of them are looking interesting here. Amazon ripping the most. If this were Thursday or Friday, I would say put spread candidate. Microsoft still looks horrible. Meta 15. Netflix. So yeah, we're definitely getting stabilization in the cues. Yeah, Greg, I like your idea of put spread on Tesla. So the only question is, when do you feel lucky enough?
Feel lucky all the time. But if how far away can you get? I mean, you could do it on a pullback. You want to do it now? Is the expiration at the end of the week?
Wow, these are insanely high. Like I'm having a double check if there's earnings. 422. Greg, we can do the 185s or a dollar.
Okay.
So you want to do it naked?
No. Well, I don't have to explain to you, but you always have to think is, and some
Well,
crazy news comes out. Do you want to own it?
why not?
Well, I mean, that's a
Because
personal thing, but yeah.
because the problem is I would have to go $10 wide and I only get 50 cents. So would you rather $10 wide 50 or a dollar naked? Look at 185 on my weekly chart here.
But it's personal risk. I don't. It's highly unlikely it's going to 185 this week. So I understand what you're saying.
So I'm doing it myself. 97. Man, 24 million already in 9 minutes. That to me sounds insanely high volume.
I didn't check the news today, but I just saw the chart and figured, oh, this is going to
Oh,
try and
yeah,
bounce.
no, I've been working it for 3 weeks based on a Climo. Um, yeah, remember I told you spiders were pretty darn high too, but not as high as this. That's insane right there. I think because everyone's mad at him now. 75 calls. Not quarter fast. Yes. Yeah, the better entry was on Thursday though, Thomas, but the 15 minute is still strong. KKR, I said floppy Climo. All right, so this gave it up. So now, before I said 30-minute time. Well, VRL. V, v, am I pronouncing that right? VRL? Um, we're still swimming upstream here. This is still nasty power. So we're you know still in day trading mode for now, unless it's an obviously better pattern. Um, so ALK, when I was looking at airlines, this was one of the few above the 200. Looks like look, RCLs are at the 200. I'm going to set an alarm to 208. PCL, nope, nope, still weak. NCLH, nope, no turn. But I'll set an alarm at 1870. This one is the most extended. And let me check Q's. So 0 to TE. 30-minute high, I would feel more confident. Just let this wasn't a stupid little morning blip. So looks like yesterday's low 468. So let's try 465. 66. So yeah, there's truth. There's truth for 30-minute high. So yeah, that's my tentative plan. 30-minute high Qs. So let me check that TMOS. TMOS. Hmm. It's extended on the 15, but let me see if the spread's tightened up. Two 272. Nope, 0 by 53. So the spreads are a problem. That's Mountain. Let me check 155s. Ron Barron. There's no weeklies here. And was on CNBC. He's a staunch supporter of Musk. The one, wow, 150s are buck and a quarter. 10 DTE. But and the lady asked him, well, what do you think about Musk getting him so heavily involved in the public, which is pissing off people? And he said, I don't think companies should get involved in politics. Why do you want to aggravate a big percentage of your customers. And I 100% agree with that. Same with actors. Why don't you just, be funny and not piss off half your watchers? Oh, this Asian I forgot about. Still no turn, but let me look at the juice bar. The 11s or 20 cents for Friday. Let me just set an alarm for now. Well, I got it right here. Gold. It's sloppy, Thomas. Hey, my 15-minute chart's not updating. Come on. This froze on me once today and I had to reboot the whole damn computer. And now this thing is spinning again. I feel like using Biden's sentence right now. Come on, man. Why do you do this to me? All right, I'm locked up again. F. Can I say F? Locked up again. Alex, that's twice now.
Yeah, and you need to take the time to call them. Tell them they'll do a cleanup on the computer, upgrade you to Windows 11.
Yeah, but this is my laptop. But yeah, I hear you. And I actually called Dell over the weekend because I'm still getting those blue screen errors.
Mine was because of the docking station, but last night finally got things working, and this morning it started up perfectly. But they had to replace the motherboard. I don't know what they did, but probably took took them like a month to get it or almost. So I don't know whether they made something special to work with this docking station on this type of computer, but anyway, you know, technology problems suck, but you got to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had the problem that we had with getting emails to work when the motherboards on yours and mine, we had problems.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing happened, of course, because they replaced the motherboard. And then, getting GoDaddy on the phone to fix it and all that shit. It's just, it's just such a waste of time, having to deal with that, but there's no choice.
Mm-hmm. All right, gold. So it's not a quality breakout. It's bullish consolidation, daily, weekly.
Had your
But
problems with the computer? I don't have any problems now.
and what was the other one you wanted me to look at? Um, Alex, did you get me one? Yeah, BRL is a new member started yesterday. Deck, my alarm, 124 alarm went off. Here's another one, Greg, like I told you with Tesla. Been watching this for a month, but I don't, if it were Friday, I would do a zero DT year, but I don't trust it for a swing yet. A Climo daily weekly. Look at the weekly. 220 down to 120. How's that for a haircut?
I don't see your chart. Yeah.
Ah, my bad, because I didn't hit the share again. My bad. All I did was reboot. All I did was reboot them. Yep, sorry. Uh, FD and yeah, let's take a look at that. Yeah, I mean day trade for sure. You know, could this turn into be a home run swing entry? Maybe, but the
Can,
question is how we're swimming upstream until proven otherwise. Although,
so for a short-term trade, also look at mags.
yeah, it's too late. I don't like that one as much, you know. But yeah, I think I'd rather. There's only seven of them, so I think I'd rather just drill down and find the best one. Um, and then also, if you're talking about foot spread or whatever, I think Max might be spreading. But yeah, Netflix is flying here. Netflix and Amazon flying on the 15. But too late. Apple's the dog of the day. What? Dog. Dog. Rough. Looks like a 30-minute low short. Yuck. I guess the tariff talk. All right, let me delete some of these now. Earnings trades. There's a Climo, Vic. Climo on the 200 bottoming too. But I don't like that 15-minute stair stepping down. There's Climos everywhere. I think blasted pretty good. Asian doing nothing. Assays, that's the one I was explaining pre-market was a bullish gap, but no void, but it the power of the buying, I just drilled through it. So you know what? Now it would be a good 1, 2, 3, but close like that. Yeah, no, I still like 30-minute high. That's good. And the factory work here for the bullish case. The cues need to do what? Stay in the upper 50% of the day's range. So that's what I'm eyeballing here on the 5-minute charts. Key, I'm sorry, diamond's the weakest. All right, yesterday's low. Sienna, it's a Climo, but not a quality one, and there's no turn. Bravo Zulu, nothing. Bullish gap, KYF, kind of similar, looks a little similar to Mountain MTM. Gapping over an ugly red bar. ASS would have been a bullish pattern to buy, bottoming pattern, if it gapped up on earnings, but look at that. So that's a shock bar under that bull 1, 2, 3. So they are in pain. What the F? Look, Alex, what is going on, man? Look at my screen now. Oh, well, you can't see it. Well, I'm looking at what you're seeing on my other computer, but my whole quotes um minder went out, and I got three charts just went white. I'm trying to exit again. Okay, well, that makes me feel a tad better that you're having the same problem. But now I'm trying to X out of it. And the exit button is not working. I might have to use TC for the morning. AD line turned red. Here, I'll show you a picture of mine. Control Alt Delete again.
We can get spiders or cues, this 5 minute bar ignored. Maybe cues are better. Maybe it's a coin flip. Um, be a day trade long. So far, it's not being ignored. Just consolidating here. No, maybe. Let's see if cues are pulling back here to support.
Oh man, I just looked at my VIX. Wow. Greg, we're at 50% of max profit and we entered at the same place price wise.
Yeah, sure.
What do
You
you
did
mean?
it. You did it at the right time.
Wow, that is amazing. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. I need Sam here to ask him when VIX is reporting earnings.
You're funny.
Well, because it says no earnings date available.
$10. Was there news? I didn't check the news today.
It must be because that was a whiparama.
Joel, no, Joel's was at 9 o'clock. There's nothing at 10 o'clock. Definitely some rotation, slowly. Look, McDonald's getting shellacked.
Oh, shoot. Now this, my midpoint just got wigged out. So maybe I was not looking at proper quotes. All right, so now I gotta hold off. Yep,
Something must have happened.
yeah,
Some news.
time is so horrible. They look very bad. And good. Also relative weakness here. That looks horrible. Yep, aren't you glad I waited for the 30-minute high for that Q's put spread? You heard what I said. I didn't trust it after 15 minutes. I wanted 30. All right. I think it's already stopped working again. Let's just